think one of the things that are different to grow up in a city, when I was little, this town, it wasn't so big like now, and it was a very little society, like community, so that allowed me to relate with people differently, like in a most lento. Vamos a hacerlo en castellano, me parece, ¿no? Estar en contacto todo el tiempo con la naturaleza te lleva a experimentar el tiempo con otros poderes, con otras formas de mirar, de escuchar, de relacionarte con la gente. Y lo que te decía en English era que como también, además de que era un lugar, este es un lugar con naturaleza, también cuando yo era más chica era un lugar con menos personas, como más salvaje de alguna forma la naturaleza, y eso te genera otra experiencia también para relacionarte con otros, como cuando éramos chicos estábamos todo el tiempo afuera, o bueno, de adolescente también, como los planes siempre eran en la naturaleza. Y bueno, es un lugar de mucho aprendizaje, y creo que para trabajar visualmente también es muy inspirador, ¿no? Como the shapes and the colors and textures, ¿no? But especially the idea of nature is the thing that I most use, like el tiempo que maneja, the time is so different in nature, and that's where I love it. I love nature. It was mix Spanish, mix English. Sí, sí. At first, I was drawing all this woman for so long because I was asked me so many questions about being a woman and how we relate, and almost I'm almost 14 years, so for me feminism appears in my life very not so young. So I think my draw was embracing all my readings and all my relationships and all what I was experimenting, and that's why I try to poder to translate that in my draw. So I on purpose I draw without gender because I think we have to go that way in life in general. I don't know, I think every human has found you must find your way to communicate with others and to try to understand the world because it's so crazy, and for me it's the way I found, but I don't think it's better than others. But for me it's like when I feel that I have the tools to communicate with others and to talk about me and the world. And I love to write also, but the images for me are so important, and everyone can communicate through image, you don't have to know a language, you don't have to know anything. So that's what I love about image in general. And see,
yeah, definitely transcends, like, I love that.
Yes, transcends all, even time, because I don't know, when I was working in the tarot, or I don't know, there are images that are universal and image that was made so long ago, and we can look at that now and say and have a reference about that and have a feeling emotions, and that's beautiful. Now I'm working in, here we say tira, but it's like when you interact, you mix like writing with image to tell a story, like comic but more poetic kind of thing. This is something I always want to do, and now I'm trying to get there, and I would love to editar, edit, yeah, to publish that work. It must be cool to share it like in a book or something like that. But I don't have a plan. That's my only idea. I want to materializar. But then I get so inspired by the people who came that I have all kind of ideas to make things. But that's my purpose, my next purpose, to edit that book. Yes. Well, for me, it's like I say, very, very powerful to share experience with artists, not only work but experience, like the day-to-day life. And it has been so inspiring, and I don't know, I make a lot of friends, so that's what I love about the project. And I don't expect like to more than that, to continue receiving this knowledge of people and experience, and to know about different thinking and different kind of lives in the world, and also to continue to build this community of artists who care about things and who want to share it, and not focus only in the works but in the experience and the relations we made here in Tribu. So that's my desire. I usually work with nature words or concepts, and I think Tribu is like a kind of community that involves certain things that we share in common, but not had to be in the same way, you know. And trueno, it's a thunder. Here it's not common in our in this city, in this territorio. So for me, I grew up here, but I went to the city to study, and then I come back, and I don't know, for me was this idea of bringing something new to my city, or something like that, or something that makes a sound, I don't know, like impact in some way that I hope it's a good way, obviously. Well, that's why I put Tribu de Trueno. Yeah, that's something important for me. It's important to share with people that come to the city and doesn't know what happened here, that almost it's the story of the world, but here it was very, very hard what they do. But I'm also a Winca, like they say to us, to white people, we are Wincas. But still I want to talk about that with people, because this is a very touristic city, and people, then they don't usually know about this, because there is a really strong position about that to be hidden. So for me it's important to share that with the artists, especially because I think they are sensitive persons who in general they have interest about, or they feel empathy of things. So the only thing I do is trying to share that information. But yeah, I think in every part of the world it's the same thing, the same shit, you know. See, and there has been some artists who came to work in that especially, and it's a very difficult situation. It is not comfortable to take someone's voice, you know, to talk about people you are not. But at the same time, I don't know, it's happening, you know. People are interested to know and work, and I don't know what to think really about that. But I try to be the most respect I can to share that information and to share the possibility of knowing certain Mapuche people if I can't, and there are very good projects that they are doing to share with. Yeah, I think because we have the possibility to talk about things and to give and to show the things that are hidden by the system, you know. I think since we are little, we have been told one story, and I think that's universal. It doesn't matter in what part of the world you are. So it's good to know how privileged we are in a lot of ways, and how we can communicate by art things that are really important, even if we don't understand what's the real thing, you know, like to share the process of trying to understand things, trying to improve, and to try to build another situation, not only for us, for the artists, but to share with others also.